See, one of the most crucial skill sets that a woman can learn and should acquire along the way when she's of dating age is the skill set of leaving, the skill set of knowing when to leave, especially when a woman is with an indecisive man, because this is on some real talk, beneficial thing that will benefit women and this will benefit men. And this benefits men as much as it benefits women because make y'all understand this. It's crucial for a woman to know when to leave so she does not allow herself to get damaged. She does not allow herself to get her hopes up, believing in pipe dreams. And it's the best way for a woman to face reality because dealing with the indecisive man is a curse. And when you're dealing with a man that's indecisive, not giving you a decision, and he does not know, that I don't know is a no. When a man don't know, his answer is no. You have to make that decision for an indecisive man. Because when you are allowing yourself as a woman to sit there and allow yourself to be gaslit, lied to, drug along the way, giving your best years, even giving some of these men a baby that don't even ask to be here, giving a man the best, most crucial parts of you that you can't get back. Why go down that line? Why go down that lane when you can pick up that skill set to leave? Because when you pick up that skill set to leave, that discernment, that God-given intuition to leave, guess who's going to benefit from it? Not only you, but your future man, your future person. And see, that's why I had this conversation. That's why I made that remark earlier that men benefit from it as much as women benefit from the fact of having a woman with the skill set to leave. Because fellas, when you invest and when you have a woman that comes into your life that has a skill set where she's able to leave, and you are a marriage-minded, relationship-minded man, you will benefit from that just as much as she benefited from the skill set on her own. The reason why a man can benefit from having a woman that's sure of herself and she has the skill set of knowing when to leave, when she runs into a man that's relationship, commitment, or marriage-minded, he benefits from it because he does not receive a woman that's damaged. He does not receive a woman with a lot of wounds, with a lot of scars. She does not have to do much healing because she didn't allow herself to get damaged. So when you deal with a woman that knows herself and that did not allow herself to be damaged, and not allow herself to be taken advantage of, you can inherit a woman that's a benefit to you and she's whole. That's why a lot of men got to understand this whole conversation about, oh man, you a simp. Oh man, you pandering. Okay. All right. But when you get a woman that comes into your life and she's healed because she didn't have to go through it because she had the intuition, she had the skill set to leave. That's what you're benefiting from. You're getting a woman that's sure of herself. She knows herself. But a lot of men, a lot of you are so immature, you don't get that. You don't understand that. A lot of you are so busy listening to a lot of these men on the internet, these relationship podcasts, that's steering you in the wrong direction. They're steering you away from women as if women are the villain. When you don't understand, when you don't have the capacity to understand yourself, you won't be able to understand a woman. And you won't know what a healed woman is if she came up to you and smacked you right in the face. If Jesus came down right now and said, that's your Proverbs 31 woman, she got everything you need, that's her right there. A lot of you, if Jesus slapped you in the face, you still wouldn't know. You'll sit there and argue with Jesus. Well, Jesus, well, according to Red Pill and these podcasters, what you got to say about that, Jesus? These modern women, That's your wife. Go get her. Okay, Jesus. Hopefully you'll stop arguing. And that is a huge benefit for men and for women. It is a benefit for yourself, ladies, when you have the skill set to leave. Because when you are in a relationship and you are staying in it and it's damaging you and damaging you and damaging you, it gets to a point where you're cheating on two people. You are cheating on yourself, number one, because you're allowing yourself to be damaged. And the second person you're cheating on is the man that's in your future. You're cheating on you cheating on the man in your future because you're holding yourself back from meeting him. You see how powerful that is, fellas? You see how powerful that is, ladies? And that's the same thing that goes for men. When you, as a man, when you in a relationship and you stand in it and you stand in it and you stand in it and you allowing yourself to be damaged and it's souring your spirit. Now, the next woman that comes along the way, she has to pay the price because you didn't leave your relationship prior to her soon enough. Same for ladies. The reason why some of these men are suffering, some of these quality men are suffering, is because some of you women, you stayed in a relationship 2, 3, 4 years too long and allowed that man to damage you. And now you wouldn't know what a good man is if he came in front of you. If Jesus came down here on a chariot. And we have so many men and women that don't have the skill set of leaving. And when you have a skill set, and I want to really drive this home for women, because as a father with daughters, I'm teaching my daughter this early. I have a daughter that's of age in college, and she is understanding the skill set of leaving. If a man play with you, he only got one time to play with you. Next. One time. A woman of quality, a man of quality, don't allow yourself to give these people 3, 4 chances, 5 chances, and all this other stuff. They'll apologize, but apology is the best form of apology is change behavior. And when you got these people hurting you and damaging you, and yeah, they may apologize and they may do this and do that, nice gesture to make up. The behavior is the gesture that really matters in the form of an apology, after apology. That's what matters the most. But the most crucial thing that I want to drive home is when women have a skill set to leave, it is so much of a blessing and it's so refreshing because you are in a place of alignment where you know yourself. Because when you stay in these relationships, ladies, you have these men, it's some of these men out here that will bring the worst out of you and that will sour your spirit and will make you bitter, will scorn you, and you'll have this acrimony spirit towards men, this vengeful spirit towards men. Y'all seen that movie Acrimony, where that woman was just that she had that acrimonious rage, that just uncontrollable rage, where she was trying to unalive the man, unalive the women. And there's stuff like that on news and media every day, where a woman snaps because she gave a man a chance, gave him a chance, and then she kept being dumb, taking him back, and then he went out and had a baby on her. And now that's the final straw. Now she's snapping and she getting her little pew-pew to unalive somebody. I'm not over exaggerating. Y'all know I'm not lying. That type of stuff happens every day. Every day, unfortunately. A woman that gets out of character and on this acrimony rage. You have women in prison right now behind a man after giving him a chance, taking him back after he cheated when you should have left. When you should have left. And that's the thing you got to understand. When you stay in these relationships, ladies, when you allow these men to hurt you and damage you, it ruins your identity It ruins your identity to where it sabotages the woman that God has you um, set up to become. So many women are so scorned and so damaged to where it's that one man that has turned you out to where it's going to take you years to get to the woman that you were meant to become. You could have became the woman of your desires 5 years ago, but you stayed in this relationship too long. You stayed in that toxic situation too long. You invested money. You invested time. You invested effort. You took them back. And now it's so much of a grave. You digging yourself in a deeper hole, to where a lot of you can't get out of it. It's hard to get out of it. Don't allow yourself to get that way. Don't allow yourself to get that way. When a man try to play in your face, when a man try to play you, get out of there. Leave. And it's up to you. God will give you discernment where you'll know all men have certain similarities. A lot of men do things the same way. So let me give him a little grace. Let me let him know this one time. Look, if you do this again, I'm gone. If you do this again, there's no discussion. This is over. You have to let a man know that he can't play with you. And that's the bottom line. When a man know that he can't play with a woman, he's not going to do certain things. He's not going to even take that chance because he know that you are rare and he don't want to take that chance of losing his person. You got to let these men know from the jump when they do something funny style and rub you the wrong way, or they're talking to you and y'all having y'all first discussion of a disagreement and his tone get to a certain level of disrespectiveness. Let him know you're not going to holler at me. You're not going to say this to me. I'm not finna talk to no man that's going to cuss and all this. When you let a man know that, he knows, oh, yeah, this the one, yeah, she'll walk away. And that's when he'll know, I got to consider next time if me and my woman have an argument or a disagreement, I gotta maintain my masculinity. And I have to have this civilized order. And I have to have this emotional intelligence. That's what forces a man to dig deep and search for his emotional intelligence. When he know he don't want to lose out on a woman and you give him and you tell him, look, don't talk to me like that again. If you talk to me like that again, I'm gone. If you let a man know that, especially if that's a man that really like you, if he really like you, oh, he'll change. If he don't like you, he's not going to change. Point blank, period. And when he don't change, move on. Like I say, the skill set of leaving. The skill set of leaving. But that's the perfect thing that a lot of men got to understand, that men, when you get a woman that have a skill set of leaving and don't allow herself to be damaged, that means that she's thinking about you before she even met you, because she's allowing herself to be a complete person, being whole as a woman. So by the time she gets to you, she's able to give you the best of her. And that's what a lot of men got to understand. When you're seeing these women file for divorce, okay? When you're seeing these women leave a man for doing this or doing that, you got to think about this. You got to think about this, fellas. Please, if you are a father or if you are a brother, whether your sister is a younger sister or older sister, and you know men know men. So many men get upset with women filing for divorce at a 70%, almost 80% ratio, which is very true. I looked up the statistics. It's very true. It's very accurate. But y'all got to realize this, fellas. We have a lot of men that cheat. We have a lot of men with a lustful spirit. We have a lot of men that be inboxing, that be texting, that be going to strip clubs, messing with strippers on the low. That may not be you, but it's a lot of men out there, bro, that be doing that. And these women be, finding earrings in their car that don't belong to them. Y'all got to understand, these women ain't putting up with that, man. These women back in the day, like your great grandma and them, they was putting up with that because they were set up to where a lot of times they couldn't get checking accounts by themselves. They couldn't get certain jobs as women. It was discriminatory practices back in the 60s and the 50s. But in them 70s, when that equal credit opportunity was passed in 1974, when women were finally allowed to get checking accounts by themselves without needing male co-signers, they were allowed to apply for a line of credit, allowed to apply for business loans, allowed to apply for cars in their names, and a man didn't have to be attached to it. These women, they stopped letting these men play with them. And I know a lot of y'all men struggle with hearing that, and you may think, oh man, whatever, man, that's that old man. I'm telling you, the problem is a lot of y'all men are uneducated on some of those things. A lot of you are uneducated on history, the history of this country, of what women had to deal with. When you put yourselves in a position, let's put the shoe on the other foot, and let's say God created men to get pregnant, and women impregnated men. Let's just flip the shoe on the other foot. I know it sounds crazy, but imagine yourself back in the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s. Imagine finding out your wife had 3 or 4 kids in the same neighborhood and you really couldn't get out of it. You had to stay. Imagine your wife bringing home an STD, an incurable STD. You couldn't get out of it. You had to stay. There's a reason why grandma and grandpa slept in a different room, but a lot of you didn't really pay attention to it. But there's a reason, and that's 9 times out of 10, that's the reason why. So when you talk to your grandma and you really figure out a real true history of what type of man your grandfather was, your great grandfather was, ask your grandma if she's still alive. Ask your great auntie, okay? They'll tell you. And a lot of these women will tell you stories that will shock you out of your shoes. That's why the value of women leaving early is very valuable and it's very valid. Because as a man that's a man of quality and that's relationship minded, a man that will love a woman right and that will truly do right by her, that man will reap a reward of inheriting a woman that has a skill set of leaving. So I just want to leave that nugget with you. But the most crucial thing is, ladies, you got to know when to leave. You got to know when to leave. When your relationship is a soap opera, and I'm gonna say this real quick. When your relationship is a soap opera and a Tyler Perry movie and all that other stuff, get out of there. Come on now, get out of there. Get out of there. I'll be looking at some of these questions that some of y'all women be sending me, and whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, and I do my best to get to them. But I'll be reading these questions and I'll be like, is this real? No, this can't be real. And I'm like, do she really? I hope y'all really read these questions back to yourself. And it just be interesting paragraphs. And I read it all. But I'm like, you really sitting here enduring all of this? But what's so easily, for me to easily say that you should leave, it's not so easy for some of these women to catch on and pick up to it. Pick on, I don't know. It's confusing. But anyway, I just want to leave that spirit. I just want to leave that with you because that was in my spirit of talking to women about the skill set of leaving, knowing when to leave, because you will benefit for yourself, because your identity is not going to be sabotaged. Your spirit is not going to be sabotaged. And the man, your future man in down the path that you'll meet along the way will be able to benefit from it. And that's the thing, ladies. That's the thing, fellas. You got to understand that. All right, man. Y'all be blessed. Peace.